Is the moon over there? No, I don't get the moon circle or trajectory. it's just a light near the moon. What the fuck? Yo. I swear it was like a weird light near the moon. What the hell? Aliens confirmed. And how is the moon there now? It makes no sense. Or oh, the dog scared me. I don't know how the moon trajectory works. Oh, the dog's coming, hoping for food, I guess. Idiots. And the bed also. Yesterday I had some talk with the insurance person and really annoying also. Afterwards I really wonder also if I said the right thing or what all these questions meant, this and that. Ultra annoying. But yeah, I guess you gotta be positive for a while. Oh man. Why does everything suck? Why? And yeah, that Alice movie that you posted, kind of creepy. I didn't watch like the whole thing or whatever. Just skimmed it a little bit, but kind of creepy. But I remember also the cartoon was kind of creepy as well, as a kid. Bro, these dogs swarming me. I should really stop feeding them. And yeah, I hope it might be insane sunrise, but I feel like there's too little clouds, but it's probably gonna be 5 out of 10. And the moon gives maybe like 1 additional point. You watched it in college, Dean. But do you speak Czech or? I mean, is it like some kind of original or? It feels like it's so random. Or did you go like to movie making before the time of internet? Yeah, makes sense. It would be interesting. Or did you do like art and movie stuff college? Or was it just one of these leisure activities? Leisure. Looks like it could be a hot day today. Man, I'm out of cream for my coffee. It sucks. And I'm also hungry, but too lazy to cook. Because he was dumb, yeah. Most people say that after art school. Most people don't get a job, this and that. One of the most worthless degrees, allegedly, but yeah, it depends. But at least you potentially lived in the boomer times. If you would have just put 10% aside you and invested in stocks or something, you would probably be a millionaire. You loved it? Yeah, I mean, then it's honestly not so bad. We don't have like the exact same system. And I could have gone to like advanced schools, which is kind of like what I think we call it. But I kind of decided against it, which is kind of sad in retrospective. But as a young person, you don't really know, and nobody mentored me or whatever. So I was already like, I could totally go this and that. The money was available, and my scores or whatever was good enough. But yeah, I decided against it already, like in the fucking in the 6th grade. I decided against it to go to the higher thing, and then after the 9th grade, I decided against it again, kind of. There's somebody else up and about. Funny. Yeah, it's pretty nice. I wasn't able to decide brain-wise, but I decided, lol, it's so, it makes no sense, but yeah, it's way too late now. I had a bad starting RNG. And the fish chops, they're good also. I was grown up too early, and then I burned out, kind of. Yeah, when I look back, I honestly I don't understand how it happened, how it can be that screwed up. You know, it doesn't make any sense to me from an outside perspective. But it's also because of my knowledge, I guess. And yeah, it was kind of like one of the best economic times. So everything seemed like, it would just be even better and better, but it kind of was going downwards already, like economy and stuff. I mean, life's so easy for the people who did the right thing in the 70s, 80s, and 90s. And maybe the 2000s as well, but now it's like so much harder to be set for life. Gen X, I don't know which one that is. I just guessed your age, I guess. Which I do on that tiny little Discord photo. But yeah. And I think you call yourself old also or something. Oh, more people come. Or is it the same? I don't know. Yeah, I don't want to blame the baby boomers too much because they didn't know, right? But yeah. They really should have invested and bought houses and stuff. There was no jobs. I almost can't believe that, but I trust you, I guess. But yeah, knowing people was always important. But here in Switzerland, like everybody tried to hire you in the 90s. You could get so many jobs all the time, and you get like a really good salary. And yeah, like I said, the stock market was like really good. Houses were much cheaper, and they exploded in value since then. And even if you did just like a normal job, you had like a really good salary compared to what the costs were. And ever since then, everything got much more expensive, and the salary just got a little bit higher. AKA, it kind of shrunk, but the money is, yeah, it's more in numbers, but less value. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, understandable. I wonder if that's still lucrative today, but not sure. But I can see how in those times it was maybe harder for a woman or compared to a man, yeah. Which now maybe is slightly easier, but of course it's not totally changed. But it certainly there seems to be much more women in like more jobs and stuff. Which yeah, some call it like an advancement, but it depends on how you look at it. If you have to work, then later sometimes you realize also that having the possibility of doing the household is not that bad also, because working can be tough and hard and this and that. And there's many career women also who are not that happy either. Depends though. I would say 50-50. Well, it certainly still was easier than a few decades earlier, where women maybe weren't even allowed to work certain jobs. It's funny how there's some other people join. Potentially metalheads. But But it is kind of annoying to hear their voices. But now I know how it feels. They're like on both sides from me. Ultra far away, but I can still hear them. Healthcare is a guaranteed job, yeah. I hate how it has become that huge business though. And I'm not talking about the people who actually take care of people physically, but like all these other positions that are like above and like delegating and this and that. It's like they just suck up a lot of the money that could go into the care, so to speak. But yeah, the whole bloating of the institutions, it's real. Like, you know, we have like this welfare system and 50% of the money of the costs goes to the workers. And they have like pretty big salaries. And if they would just give the money to the people to help themselves, so to speak, they would save 50% money, you know what I mean? It's kind of stupid. And it keeps bloating more and more. There's some guy hired for some stupid shit everywhere, and you don't even know what they're really doing, I guess. And they have so much power, aka they get corrupted, this and that. And in like the lower delegation positions, they have a lot of people who wear out and they get switched up. But this guy's swimming or what? Almost sounds like swimming noises. Oh, can definitely help you sober up though. The magic water. And I hate also like how the healthcare system gets money when you're sick, you know what I mean? And when they can sell you medication. It's even worse in America. Like here, some stuff is not allowed, like advertisement for medication. But you still know they are lobbying and they're working together with the pharmacy companies. And yeah, they can get you hooked on pills for life. That's a huge deal for them. It's just what it is. It's sad. And like hospitals sometimes have a hard time also to write the black numbers or whatever it's called, like to stay in the plus. So they have to use the machines forever instead of getting the newest technology, and they have to sell treatments as much as possible. And the lowest staff, of course, is not even paid that great. And I think even the doctors, like for them it's the same also. Like in the 90s, a doctor would have much more value from his money. But like one good thing is like some stuff that they did in the 90s that was kind of like terrible, they don't do it anymore. Yeah. Same as like stuff that they did in the 60s that was terrible, they don't do it anymore. Like for example, lobotomies, dude. It's so bad, but they did that for very long. It's crazy. And yeah, like I said earlier, I thought I could have used some support when I was younger, but maybe the support would have been terrible back then. I don't know. And now it's better, but still not perfect, of course. The best help is still like love and care from close ones. But yeah, I remember my grandmother also believing some stupid shit sometimes. This sunset kind of sunrise sucks. I mean, it doesn't suck, but ever since that ultra pink one, I can almost only be disappointed. It's so weird how I can hear them, but I cannot see them. Oh. Fish flopping. Ground double flop. Yeah. Our grandparents, most of the time, they go too fast. But that's the crazy thing about that other guy that I knew that died. Like, his grandmother is still alive, dude. It's so unfair and so weird sometimes. Makes no sense. And yeah, I once visited like some German grandma. She was like ultra nice also. But yeah, she's gone also now for a long time. But damn, she was cool. But I don't even remember her name. That's kind of sad. I mean, maybe I could remember if I really tried. I remember the family name though. You'd always say like, what, do you want chocolate? But you're from Switzerland. Don't you have the better chocolate? Why would you want German chocolate? And I remember she made like sauerbraten. It's like slightly sour meat with like vinegar or something. It's like a traditional thing. used to skate in the streets and play in this and that. We would play the blind cow also. It's like where you're in a room and then somebody gets their eyes blinded. I don't know the word right now. And then they have to search other people just by feeling around. And yeah, back then, honestly, everybody had like a real nice house. It was just normal. By the way, there was another stabbing in England. Fucking hell. Some guy stabbed some woman from behind. She didn't die though, which is good, I guess. But yeah, it doesn't make it much better. But slightly. Oh, there's a little pink. There. Yeah, today the problem is definitely there's just not enough clouds. If there was like more clouds right there, it would be more people. Another stabbing in England, yeah. I don't know much about it, but I just saw a short part of the video, and it's like some guy coming up to a woman from behind and stabbing her near the neck area. And like I said, I don't know much more about it, but that's the most fuck up shit when somebody just comes up from behind and this happens. I got sucker punched from behind once. So annoying. So unfair. And it's just not normal. And it's probably gonna be more protests or stuff happened already, I don't know. I don't look into that stuff too much anymore, but sometimes you almost can't avoid it because now it's much more mainstream than it used to be the last few decades, where stuff happened already also, but now it's just all coming out, it seems, and people are starting to awake or more rage, this and that. Not sure if it will change or help anything, but yeah. We will see, we will see. Sometimes it makes it even worse. There's just gonna be more policing, more surveillance, whatever. Who knows, who knows. But yeah, I had enough from all of this shit for a long time. Like, I wish it was different. I wish everybody would wake up and actually do something, but yeah. can see also how if countries do stuff, they could get into international trouble as well. So it will almost have to be several countries, and even then, I don't know. It's just the greed and the power. It's so strong, the corruption. And at the same time, we all have our own life problems. Oh no, it's a little bit even more pink. Nice. Going to London soon. Yeah, it's fine. Most of the time, nothing happens. Also. Don't worry too much. Yeah, everybody always say, "Oh, there's gonna be a revolution, civil war, this and that." I only believe it when I see it, like, because that stuff has been rumored for like decades also, and I feel like it's not gonna happen. Also, how can you even do a revolution? It's like it doesn't work, like, most of the time nowadays, because the government has all the good weapons and the people have none. And allegedly you need like 10% of the population at least. And we're probably not even there yet. And even if revolution happens, like, will it really get better? Like I said, it could get even worse. It could be a crackdown or just more corruption, controlled opposition. So many options, and yeah. Really hard to say. Like, even if we want change, like, change is scary also. Like, you don't know what is gonna fill the vacuum. And there's still a lot of infighting also. It's not like people are really united. There's like a million small groups. That was only a 3 out of 10. But it's fine. Fluorescent lights. Kinda. And going all the way to London, it's gonna take a long time. 10-hour flight. More or less. Smell some flowers. Bing bang bong. So many fish, it's small. But they all look kind of small. Damn, it's like a really nice sunny day. Should totally go sun bath. I feel like I didn't go in the sun forever now. I hate that I'm still thinking about that phone call, dude. It's so annoying. It's just kind of scary also. Like, what if I screw it up or something? Also, something she said is like, what does she even mean? And is she for me or against me? That really is like the worst. Also, how do you know if somebody wants to help you or not? And afterwards, I always have like more questions or that could have influenced my answers and stuff. And some questions were like super hypothetical also. The fish or who? The raven, you mean? Nah. I don't know which exposure is the best. The nug. No. There was some, but they went their own way. Man, it's borderline fresh. I don't think so. I never heard it though, but yeah. I can see how you think that, but it doesn't necessarily mean that's the reality. But yeah, like, I feel like I have that problem sometimes also in the sense that whenever I'm like in a good shape, good mood or whatever, then I don't know, yeah. People just judge so fast also. And yeah, one tries to keep the appearances up, which sometimes seems to be the only logical thing, and it's also like something that people in the past did more, I guess. But even if you're like honest and open, then somehow it's still, they don't believe it also. It's weird, yeah. I feel like I kind of get it, and yeah, I don't know what to say. And sometimes in the stream or also in real life, like I feel like I change my voice also to be like appealing, just like as a communication thing, you know what I mean? But then later on, it feels weird, and yeah, I don't know how people perceive it. And I remember online also one person like kind of insulted me, and I was like, like about my voice, and then I was like, yeah, thanks for telling me or something. Now I know, but yeah, instead of like just laying down the law, bringing the pain. And sometimes people annoy me also so much, but I have a hard time telling them or trying to fix it or whatever. And then sometimes I try to social engineer. It can work, but many times it doesn't work also. And yeah, I did like political debating sometimes also, and it almost never has that exact effect that you wish for. It does have some effect, but yeah. By the way, I learned the word allegory. I like looked it up. And yeah, allegories kind of suck. But ultimately, even if you try to not make an allegory, people will still be like slightly allegorically be influenced. All the swans are over there. Double swan. I never got a diagnosis. Yeah, diagnoses are very hard anyway. And usually you have to make like these tests, right, with like these points for different questions and stuff. And I feel like that kind of sucks also. It's so hard to measure psychology. And yeah, do you really want diagnosis? That's the other question also. Like, if you get a diagnosis, then sometimes you believe in it. You accept it as fact. But at the same time, it's very hard to measure. And I feel like it really depends also on the daily form, or like I said, like if you really try to make a good impression, like you behave like a normal being, because that's the way you learned it, instead of being your true self and opening up. But even then, it's like so easy to be misunderstood, and the perspective of a person really depends a lot on their experience and age and knowledge, and if they went to school 40 years ago or 20 years ago or just very recently. Depends if they're a man or a woman. It's like, depends if they're empathic or not. It's super annoying and complicated. Yeah. I wish I would talk more about that stuff, but it feels kind of private. I kind of want to keep some parts somehow, not opening up too much more. Now my pinkness is gone. And the diagnosis can take really long also. But yeah, making these point tests that they have, technically it's one of the easiest way to get it, but it feels like you can manipulate it, and like I said, it seems so random. And sometimes you think you know what a question means, but then you can misunderstand the question also, which influences your answer. And yeah, it is kind of scary also. Like giving them power over you in a way. Really double-edged sword. But just like talking to somebody professional without looking for a diagnosis, that can definitely be good and nice. If there's a good vibe and they're empathic and they actually want to help. And I feel like on average women enjoy more helping people. Like they get something like out of it, while not all women of course. And some men surely do as well, but that's like a main factor also for being a good therapist, I think. That you actually enjoy helping people. Or maybe enjoying is the wrong word, but like just you feel like you get something out of it. Which, how do you know if the person is like that or if they're just acting as well? Yeah. Like I said, I didn't go to the doctor forever also. Oh man, random person walking by. Fucking sucks, dude. Talking about private jet and then somebody sneaking up from behind. Can they bloody walk down the way? And it feels like a difference also between these ones that can give you medication or the ones that can't give you medication. But yeah, I never know which one's which, but you can always ask them. And at least here you can also look up what they wrote down. But I never did that either. But maybe I should. But in a weird way I feel like it's odd also. And one good thing about therapy is also like the focus should be on you or is on you. And you can basically disregard their feelings or their problems, and it's all about you, which makes sense. Which it's not like that in a real life relationship sometimes. And yeah, there used to be priests and druids and this and that. That kind of did it like that also, I guess. Nurturing. Where did that person go now? They had to walk this circle here. But they didn't go the full big circle on the beach, the nice one. Come on. Really? Damn, I kind of want to stay longer. I think it might be getting good again, but at the same time, really, 1 hour. Is it too early to buy Korean though? Disappointed. Overexposed. Also, I kind of feel like I'm missing out on the concert thing. But I don't know. I'm not even too drawn to it. I kind of don't like the worshipping also of all these artists and stuff in a weird way. I like music though, but still. Talking in circles. That's what it feels like right now. Oh look, they cut the grass and laid out to dry. Smart. That's how you know it's most likely a sunny day also. Because the farmer wouldn't do it if it was gonna rain. It would ruin the hay. And I smell flowers and fresh cut grass in the morning. It's pretty good. Or we should go to my semi-secret bathing spot today. Will I though? I don't know. I should do a lot of things. But yes, we're going home now, ending soon. A man in a stick. It sounded like it would break easy, but I guess not. Wearing gorilla today. Guerrilla. No socks. You stop all the laundry again. Come on. If you're in London, can you not like come by? It's not that far. Just a little laundry, you know? Oh. But yeah, take your stab-proof vest. I do burn in the sun, of course. Everybody does. Some easier, some less. But I can get brown also. I'm not like ginger. Or like a tan. I can get a tan. And then you burn a little bit less if you have it. I mean, I hate sunburn, so I managed to avoid it most of the times. But I got super badly sunburned when I was a kid in the Caribbean. There's nothing funny about it, it's just the reality. Like, some people can't get a tan. Makes them even more affected by it. But it's mostly, almost only gingers, or yeah. And black people can get sunburn also, but it takes much more for sure. And yeah, my nose is like one of the first things. And his shoulders, if they're exposed. And the knees sometimes as well, because like the skin is stretched. And it's, but there's somebody in the chat said also that if you have good nutrition, you actually get less sunburn. And I can see how that can be true. I saw like some video about it also. Don't remember what exactly is the main factor, but yeah. Yeah. Yeah, you have to be careful. And in the really high summer, I certainly enjoy, or I choose mostly like shadowy places because you still get some sun exposure there as well. I don't like to use sun cream though, but in the Spain holiday I used it also. Because I came from the winter and went to the equator. It's not really mainland Spain, more like equator Africa island Spain. So I used disgusting sun cream. But yeah, I had to be outside kind of. Otherwise the roof would have fallen on my head, and yeah, and not a lot of shadow there. Or only in some places. Yeah, the nose. It sucks, yeah. I'm not really a hat guy also, but that can definitely help too. Although the sun, it always somehow has these fucked up angles where the hat doesn't help. Okay, yeah, I guess I'm ending. Goodbye. Yeah, you surely won't get burnt in London. And yeah, bring the harnish, the stat-proof vest, and always look behind you. Nah, just kidding. It should be fine, honestly. Just send in your birds, like the attack birds. Okay, bye. Bye. Bye.